Well, I wanted to talk about this, which I bought. A big thank you to Jack Striker because he kind of got me off my arse and motivated to buy this knife. Because I was chatting with him about some of the stuff he'd ordered, and he said, you know, with this knife band stuff coming up, if you've got your eye on something, you might as well order it. And that's exactly what I did. I've been wanting something like this for quite a long time, and there was one I'd seen for a few months, and I was like, do I buy it, don't I buy it, do I buy it, don't I buy it? And I thought, yeah, I'm going to buy it just because he's right. If they do put knife legislation through it, might be very hard to get something like this. So what is it? It is a reproduction of decent quality. Oh, and I'll just point out the sheath this comes in is very nice. It's a riveted sheath, quite simple, but it holds the blade tight even without that on. So you have to use a bit of force to get the blade out. It's a reproduction. The Sheffield company that I've got the Fairbairn Sykes from, which is good, that people said was crap, but it's good. It's made by them, so it's John Noel of Sheffield, established AD 1700. So there you go, you've got a company with 300 plus years of knife making behind it. And it's a reproduction of the Israeli Commando knife, which is kind of the Israeli K-bar. And I've wanted a K-bar for ages, a decent one. But the problem is, if you're in the States, from what I can understand, on the American Amazon and a lot of places in the States, you can buy K-bars for about $100 or less. In the UK, where I've seen the proper K-bars for sale, they're like £200 or more. So to give you an idea, the pound is stronger than the dollar. I'm not going to use a calculator and work out what this is. But let's say it's something like £70 or £80 to $100. That's like saying that, a £200 plus K-bar is going to end up costing you, if you're American, like way over $300. So they're massively overpriced if you get them here. I have the M-Tech US Marine knife, which is like a K-bar clone. The blade and steel and everything are all really good. The issue was it didn't come factory very sharp, and it's like one of those blades that's really hard to sharpen because they've not put a good edge on it in the factory. So it's one where I'm going to have to actually get somebody with an angle grinder or something, like a whetstone that's powered to grind it properly, because you can't do it with, just using a whetstone or anything like that. It won't hold an edge. But let's talk about this anyway. So apparently at various points in history, I don't know if they still do, Israel used the K-bar knife, the famous American K-bar knife that the US Marines had in World War II and beyond that. And their version looks very much like the K-bar. The blade's shaped slightly differently, but it's pretty much the same thing. So what you've got here is your leather stacked handle, which is very nice. Smells like leather as well, that new leather smell that bouts have. And you've actually got a thumb indent there, so when you hold the blade you can get a really good grip. So that's nice. I haven't measured the blade yet, I'll do that for you in a moment. But yeah, it's a really nice thing. It's carbon steel. I'm not sure the exact type of carbon steel, and it came factory fairly sharp. I wouldn't want to run my fingers against that too fast. It's not razor sharp, but sharp enough for what I'd want it for. Because these are kind of a combination of utility and fighting knife. You can use the business end of it if you really needed to, but they're designed for battening wood and things like that as well. And you can see from the back that it's actually got the thicker back, so you can, batten wood with it fairly well. So as far as I'm aware, you've obviously got the handguard there. The blade does come all the way to the back of the hilt there where it's secured, so that should be a fairly strong, sturdy blade. I'm not going to do a torture test today because I have to listen out for parcels being delivered, which is always fun because they come when you're least expecting it, and try and get away before you answer the door. But yeah, overall very impressed with this so far. Seems excellent, just like that Fairbairn Sykes was, that everybody said was crap until I ordered one and it turned out it was absolutely fine. So yeah, what I'm going to do now, I'll just point out there's indents on both sides so you can grip it really well, like that. I'm going to get a tape measure out and I'll let you know how big it is, all the dimensions. Right, let's have a look at the length of this thing then. Lock the tape measure so it doesn't go back in, and pull it out. Right, from the very tip of the blade, because I should be able to just kind of stick that through there, to the bottom of the blade, that is just about 7 inches, because the tip of the blade is sticking through, so I'm sure you can see on there that if that tip of the blade wasn't sticking through the little gap, that would be exactly 7 inches. So 7-inch blade. What's the hilt? So I'll measure from the handguard, It's always difficult when these tape measures swing around a bit. That's around 5 inches, not quite 5 inches, but almost 5 inches. The entire length from tip of the blade to bottom of the handguard or hilt. That's going to be, it's 11.5 inches, but again the blade is sticking slightly through the top, so if you add, you know, another centimetre or so on, it's just over 11 inches, 11.5 inches from tip to tail. So, you know, you've got a fair amount of reach on this. As I said, 7-inch blade is very good, gives you a lot of room. Let's see how it is to swing. Obviously I don't want to break anything, I'm in sort of an enclosed space. Doubt you're actually meant to use it like that, but it does swing fairly well. One of the things that's kind of interesting is there's an etched on Star of David there. So I'm assuming the actual Israeli ones have that there, and it's made to look exactly like him. Obviously the only difference is it wouldn't have that manufacturer there, it would have whoever in Israel makes the knives, might be several companies. But yeah, it feels very nice. The only thing that might put some people off is it doesn't really have a big pommel at the end, because some of these knives have like a secondary weight there to keep the back more weighed down. The balance is fairly good regardless. I mean, yeah, it's slightly heavier at the blade end, but not, you know, very much. As long as you've got your hand supporting it, the blade's not going to have any movement at all. So it should all be good. But as said, thanks to Jack Stryker for sort of saying you need to order these now if you want to order a knife, because we don't know what's going to happen with the law, and that's a very good point. And I'd say that to anybody who watches my videos in the UK. If you've been eyeing up any knives, machetes or swords, buy them now while you know you can still get them, because if they really screw the retailers over, we've got a bit of a problem. Because we are saying one of the issues is that if, you know, a lot of retailers are quite worried about these laws coming in, they might get less stock in because they don't know if they're going to be able to shift it. And then there might be lots of things that, you know, you can't buy simply because the retailers are worried about stocking it. So, yeah, if you've got your eye on something like this, make sure you get it now. Because, again, this is a commando knife. I'm sure that fits into the terminology of stuff they want to ban. You know, words like commando, survival, you know. Jack did a very good video where he talked about that before, because he was saying he thinks, you know, what they're trying to do is, it's not just them being stupid, the politicians, it's that they're trying to crack down on free thinking, and are doing it indirectly by going after, you know, survival items, you know, like somebody looking after themselves kinds of items. Either, you know, for self-defense or like bushcraft kind of reasons, but they want to get the mentality out of people's heads. So, yes, despite kitchen knives being used for the majority of stabbings, if they claim it's evil knives like this that are used for, you know, stabbings and murders, get those out of people's minds. You know, feel free to keep your kitchen knives, because people don't associate them with free thinking and sort of independence, I guess masculinity to an extent. So there you go. Regardless of that, that's my Israeli Commando knife. Yeah, I'm very pleased with it so far, but as I said, I haven't tested it really yet. The Sheffield sort of steel one. Yeah, it looks nice. It's a nice blade. And I would definitely recommend you maybe pick one of these up or something similar before this ban might come into force. So there you go.